Welcome to the show, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
It is another Friday afternoon, and we are back in another call.
Yeah. So in a previous episode, we were talking about we were trying to remember whether or not Chris Benoit killed himself with the Bowflex,
Yeah.
and he did. And I've just been trying to think of like the math. Like, how did he do that shit? That's what I
Well,
want to
I,
know.
I think it was like he stacked a bunch of weights, and then he uh, wrapped his neck around with the pull function of the machine. Because they said he. This is already super dark. but but then the weights pulled him up in a noose-like position, and that's how they found him.
I don't know. I haven't seen a Bowflex in a long time, so I mean, I just have I guess, a general idea of what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I can't imagine that. It's just so crazy. And the fact, like, I don't know, after he killed his family with presumably wrestling moves,
Uh,
um,
well, from what I remember, he like spiked their drinks or something, and then he strangled them.
well, well, half a wrestling move, but I mean, you have to sit there and think, like, he had to, like, I don't know, like, was he just working out one day and the CTE demons were calling out to him and they're like, kill yourself with the Bowflex. Like, did he not have a gun available? He could have just shot himself.
Oh
I mean,
man.
the Bowflex, like that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. Uh, CTE is a real thing, and the more you read up on it, it's like, well, he was also doing steroids, and he was also doing like Adderall and other shit mixed with
Damn,
it.
that's so cool.
So he was just a nightmare person that entire like
Yeah,
span.
like CTEs usually, well, not usually, but like a lot of the time, probably. I don't know. I'm not an expert here. I'm just talking out of my ass. I would imagine a good amount of CTE cases just come out from like sports related stuff.
Yeah,
So I don't know. Is that a side effect that like gym equipment? That's like your only way out.
I I don't think so. I just think when you put a bunch of stuff together and then you get concussed a lot of times, your brain slowly like falls apart. Because they
Yeah.
analyzed his brain and it said he was like a 4-year old mentality or something.
Well, that's even crazier. Like, I guess my whole thing is that if you're gonna kill yourself with a Bowflex, sorry, I'm talking weird. I'm trying to get the Zen situated in my lip,
Hmm.
but I just feel like if his brain is just neuron soup bouncing around in his skull,
Yeah.
it just blows my mind that he would look at something as mundane as a Bowflex and be like, "This is how I'm gonna do it
Hmm.
after I kill my family or whatever." Like that would be like if you heard I killed myself and you're like, "Oh man, that sucks. How'd he do it?" And they're like, he was restringing his bass guitar and he wrapped one of the strings around his neck and just kept tightening
Hmm.
uh the tuner on it and he strangled himself to death. Like that's I don't know, that's just crazy to me, dude.
I just know the scarier case of literally everything involving that is the fact that there was a very young kid involved.
Yeah, the fact he killed a kid sucks. I think that's really fucked up. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, yeah. I was about to say maybe it might be more fucked up to leave the not more fucked up, just as fucked up to leave the kid alive because then he has to deal with the fact that his dad went crazy and killed himself and his mom.
Yeah,
But you can recover from that stuff. You can't really recover from like being murdered.
yeah. It's one of those tough cases where you don't really know the motive, besides the fact that he had all those concussions and steroids and such. It's just
Yeah.
really sad.
Yeah,
Um,
it's kind of like Stephen Paddock,
hmm.
the Las Vegas shooter.
Yeah,
They just had no motive for the deadliest mass shooting in history and they just didn't follow up on it.
I find it crazy that that guy was able to A, house that many guns, and B, put them all in a suite and just be able to use them, you know?
Yeah, allegedly. Um, no, I not to sound too crazy, it wouldn't surprise me if in fucking 2100 they came out with a fresh batch of declassified CIA documents and some of them had to do with that shooting. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, that's just I could go down the like all the conspiracy theory points, but I don't know. I don't know if the fans would want me to.
I I don't know, man. There's a lot of weird shit like the Bjork stalker guy.
Yeah,
You
that guy
remember
was
that guy?
crazy. Yeah, I watched the Count Dankula video on him.
That one
And I
was
also did
wild.
watch the video of him blowing his fucking brains out too. I saw that. That was pretty crazy.
And then there's a totally different situation with Bud Dwyer. Remember Bud Dwyer?
Yeah, with Bud Dwyer, that might have been my first like gore video I ever watched because it was just on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like I remember, I found that video on YouTube. I watched it. I was like, "Damn, that's really crazy. I got to tell my friends about this. I got to show them this cool video." So like the next morning at school, it's probably like 7 a.m. I sit down at like in the lunchroom before school starts and I'm bullshitting with people. I'm like, "You guys got to see this video." And I showed them the Bud Dwyer suicide. I think Cody was there.
Ooh,
Um, Another friend of mine and maybe someone else. But
I
that
find it
that started Cody and I's trend of sending each other people dying videos.
I find it wild that there was so much stuff like that in early internet, and then they started to erase it all,
Yeah, well,
like
Live
the whole
Leak,
live leak thing. Yeah,
yeah, Live Leak, that used to be like it when it like that was like probably the most uncensored video platform on the internet for the longest amount of time. And then after a while, they were like, well, the cartel skinning live might be a bit much to be putting on our
yeah.
website.
Like they would have monks that were doing the protest burning or whatever on
Yeah,
there.
was it like modern footage or like Vietnam War
It
footage?
was like Vietnam area of time, I think. And
Yeah,
then
I think you can find that on YouTube
more
now.
recently, there
Just
was a guy that did that in front
yeah, the
of
Air
a
Force guy.
yeah in front of a government building. He was like, "I
Yeah,
do
I
not
saw that.
support the war in Israel. I do not support the war in Israel."
Yeah, he set himself on fire and kept screaming "Free Palestine." And I asked my mom if she had heard anything about that because my mom watches the news like all the fucking time, and like to the point where it gets nauseating. And I asked her, I was like, "Have you heard of this? Like, has the news covered this?" She was like, "No." And I was like, "Do you want to see the video?" And she was like, "Sure." And I showed her the video, and obviously she was horrified. You
Yeah,
know, guy lit himself on fire, burned to death. But the thing that I realized that might be the most morbid thing about that video is like halfway through burning, he's unable to scream Free Palestine, probably because he's inhaling straight up fire into his lungs and
Yeah,
it's burning his like esophagus and like vocal cords and shit. And yeah, man, I the first couple times I had seen that video, I was like, man, that sucks that he did that, you know. I'm sure his family's really upset. But then I made that connection and it adds like a whole new level for me at least of how like fucked up that video is. Just like imagining that, you know.
yeah. I don't know
I would
how
never
anybody.
light myself on
I don't
fire.
know how
Fuck that.
anybody would be physically able to film the guy, anyways. Because I believe it was a guy filming and then the guy.
No.
No?
No, there was no one was filming. He what he did is he walked in front of the Israeli embassy in Washington D.C. He set his phone down, presumably like on like a next to a trash can or like a light post. He like leaned it up against something on the ground, and then yeah, he dumped gas out of like a Nalgene bottle or something on himself, and was like, I I really shouldn't be laughing at this, but I did find it a little funny that he had some struggles lighting himself with the lighter.
Mm.
I don't know. That's fucked. And I shouldn't have said that, but whatever.
It's it's just kind of strange that there's so much stuff like that going on like every week or two now.
Yeah, well, stuff like that happens every day in like war zone countries. Like, uh, there's some like African civil war that happened, and there's like all these guys naming themselves like General this and General that. There's like General Butt Naked. I don't know if you heard of him. He was real crazy. He would just take his clothes off, and he had a bunch of child soldiers, and he'd make them take their clothes off, which is kind of weird.
That is
But
weird.
anyhow, uh, no, he was like, "D, oh fuck, what was he like?" He was like, "The spirits. If we turn naked, the spirits will make it so we don't get we are invincible to the bullets." And it's like, all right, dude, like did it work? And he was like, no. Like you'd watch child soldiers getting gunned down fucking left and right, these naked boys. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, come on.
Uh,
But one of my favorites from that uh is there's a guy who started calling himself General Mosquito, and he had a rival who really fucking hated General Mosquito. So he named himself General Mosquito Spray.
oh shit.
They'd just be going at it with each other in like the Sahara, like that. General Mosquito versus General Mosquito Spray.
Mm. I'm gonna have to call this episode like the downer episode or something, because this is some very edgy shit.
Yeah,
Not even edgy,
I
just
didn't.
dark, I think.
Yeah, I kind of realized that halfway through that General Butt Naked story.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
I'm just trying to think of shit I did this week
hmm.
that was kind of interesting. That was funny. And I had some shit. Now I just can't remember for the life of me
during
what
the
that stuff was.
during the Fallout session, uh, we finally found all the resources from my character's caravan and split it amongst each other.
Nice. Was it like in Mob of the Dead how you have to get all the pieces for the airplane?
It was shooting a Raider veteran who continued to miss, which was really funny, and
Some
then
kind of veteran he was.
shoot like 7 or 8 lower level raiders, and
That veteran had CTE probably.
probably,
He
man.
couldn't hit nothing.
I got the finishing blow phrase shit, and I was like, I kick him over, and he's on his back, and then I just shoot him in the head. Still,
Nice,
this
dude.
is a downer
Execution.
episode. I don't know what's going on. This is wild. All the downer shit.
Uh, I can bring it up a little bit, at least until we go on to our next fucked up topic. But I have a hot date tomorrow with a female,
Hell yeah.
and she's cute too. She's hella pretty, and I'm just really excited for that. It's the first date I've been on in probably like a year and a half, 2 years, somewhere in that kind of boat.
Hmm. I uh
But yeah,
I have an interview next week, followed by
ooh, nice.
another part of an interview the same
Uh,
day.
what's what's the job?
It said being a sports-minded brand ambassador.
Oh, damn, like an ambassador, like Israel,
Yeah.
like an Israel. So they're hiring you to be like an Israeli, and like, you watch sports or something.
I think I think it's more like a sports agent kind of job, which would be cool. There is the Nashville FC, which is the soccer club, but they call it football club.
Ew, dude, get that fucking European garbage out of my country, dude.
And
We already have football.
there's also a chance that I talk to like one Titans player every like 2 years, which would be
Oh, that'd
kind
be
of
cool.
cool.
We should get him on the podcast.
That would be pretty nice. We would just have to not have a downer episode.
Yeah, yeah, I can't talk about General Butt Naked or uh, guys torching themselves
Yeah. Like
or Chris Benoit.
I'll probably just have a giant like trigger warning thing on the bottom of this
Dude, we
whole
can't.
one.
If we get a Titans player, we cannot talk about CTE around that guy,
That is
dude.
so true. Football players have it the worst, I feel.
He'd think we're talking about him.
Yeah. I guess back in like 2011 there was a big steroids situation in the NFL that I
I feel
never
like I
heard about.
remember something about that through like the news or something. Or maybe I'm thinking about because I know there's a baseball scandal with it too, and I might be thinking about that.
Yeah. I just know Taylor Lewan, former Titans player. He had a podcast where he was asked about it, and he was like, "Oh yeah, there was one time I was taking a shit, and I rolled down a piece of the toilet paper, and then a syringe, a whole ass syringe, falls out of the dispenser."
What the fuck? That's insane. That's like
I
that's
never
like
heard
heroin
that
addict
until like
behavior.
yesterday, and I was just like, "Well, who was on the Titans that would have been roided out like that?" And I couldn't find any player in my like mind at all.
His podcast should be called Luana Know, like you want to know, and
Yes.
because in case you want to know the load. I don't know. That seemed funnier in my head. That one
It's
failed.
alright.
Yeah, you can't hit every target you shoot at. That's what I always say.
Football wise, we are in free agency period, which means anybody can go anywhere.
Yeah, I went to the bar not last night, yesterday evening more so.
Mm.
Not that it matters, but I did go to the bar and I saw that they were playing like old games and stuff because it's like free agency stuff. So I guess some players like talent agency or whatever, they just pay to like have their greatest hits, like the players' greatest hits played on ESPN, I
Mm.
guess. So I watched a Raiders versus Seahawks game from like 2022 at the bar.
Nice. Where are you going? Yeah, Russell Wilson. Yeah, former
Yeah,
quarterback of
definitely.
the
I sh-
Seahawks. Yeah,
There is
Russell
some dude that
Wilson,
sat
yeah.
right fucking next to me. He sat right next to me, which I think is bad bar etiquette. I don't know anything about bar etiquette, but I should have elbowed him and be like, "Yo, is this live?" Like I can obviously see the date in the upper right
It's
hand
March,
corner.
sir.
Yeah. Yo, season?
I, I,
Oh, I thought it was preseason. Sorry.
Preseason's not until August, and the draft is in April, so there's still a bit of stuff to
Damn,
go
dude.
through. The Browns have not
NF.
re-signed anybody from what I've seen, which is
Yeah.
terrifying.
Didn't what's his face on the Browns like get another like beating women charge or something like that?
I don't think so.
Like Deshaun Watson or something. I thought I
Yeah,
saw something on the local news about him being under fire for like mistreating women or something again. I don't know. I didn't really pay attention to it. I was like had just gotten home from the gym and was starving, so I was like I
hmm.
had food on the brain.
maybe maybe they were talking about his past accusations, and
Yeah, I mean they probably were.
they were just like, hey, remember this guy got accused of a lot of stuff, remember? And that was it.
Yeah, and the news could have been talking about his chances for a re-sign given the accusations, but like I said, I don't. I just look at stuff and then half listen to it
Yeah,
generally. So,
like
um,
Deshaun Watson, he has like 3 more guaranteed years on the Browns. But
if that, unless they trade his ass.
but technically, uh, they can't trade him. It's a part of his contract.
Oh,
But
they can't. Damn, they're stuck with that guy. Holy
yeah,
shit.
but after they're done dumping his pockets full of money in 3 years, they can draft another quarterback, which is pretty nice.
Yeah. I'm
I
just glad we don't have Mayfield anymore. A lot of people really liked him. I fucking hated him.
I
I didn't
just
think he was
didn't
a very
like
good
his
quarterback at
attitude
all.
half the time.
I didn't like his attitude, and then like he would do like the dumbest shit ever. I remember like, for example, I was watching the Browns do the Thanksgiving football game they were playing, and fucking Baker Mayfield was just like they'd throw the ball to him, and it's like he saw
He
it and
was
was
the
like,
quarterback.
I'll catch it next time.
He was the
And then he just like,
quarterback.
yeah, he would just fumble the ball and then act like people would be like pissed off at him and be like, "What'd I do?"
Yeah,
Well, you didn't catch the freaking pass that was coming right at your face, maybe.
I don't know. He went to the Panthers and he did nothing there. Then he went to the Rams for like 3 games, and then he got traded to the Buccaneers. And then right now the Buccaneers are trying to extend him, but he really is like looking at other options again. It'd be
Yeah,
really
he'll
funny if the Browns dumped money in his pocket anyways. They're like, just in case Deshaun's hurt again, Baker, 3 years, 90, and see what he says.
yeah. And what kind of first name is Baker?
Yeah,
Like, it's kind of weird if you, I don't know. Like, yeah, you make bread. Well, actually, no, never mind. That's a great name. He makes
yeah.
hella money. Bakers make bread.
I just
I
feel
guess it goes together.
I just feel like the Browns screwed him over with the Deshaun Watson trade anyways, because right as they did that, they like alienated him, and instead of like trading him for a second or a third, they got a fifth round pick in return when he got moved to the Panthers.
Damn, that's fucked.
Yeah, and if they kept him and they gave him his guaranteed extension, whatever, it wasn't even gonna be like Deshaun Watson level money, anyways. It was gonna be like, I don't know, like 4 years, like 180 or something. It would have been a $90 million cheaper extraction the that way. But yeah, I'm not too
They
impressed
should
with the Browns on that
they
situation.
should
And
make me the quarterback. I could do it. I
I
could totally
I don't
do
know,
it.
maybe a kicker. You could be a good kicker, maybe.
Oh, dude, yeah. I feel like Irish people I feel like they're really good at kicking stuff for some reason.
There's that, or
I can just imagine it.
maybe a linebacker. You have to gain like 100 pounds.
Yeah, dude, I'd just go on like the craziest bulk anybody's ever seen. I'm short. I could probably put the muscle on pretty easily because the shorter you are, apparently, the easier it is to build muscle, which I have noticed in my time lifting weights in the past month.
I I don't know about where everything's gonna go for the NFL at the moment, because there's a
Yeah.
lot of question marks. Like Russell Wilson, I just mentioned him with the Seahawks thing. He went over to the Broncos, and then he got a 5-year contract on top of it. But he still had 2 years on his old contract, and then he played through that, and now he's owed like $230 million,
Holy
and
shit.
they cut him. The Broncos cut him, and they're just gonna stuff his pockets with money. It's weird, very weird
Has
situation
has
there.
like has NFL viewership like gone down over the years?
It's actually gone up. Like it was its
Really?
highest last year.
No shit.
Even though
Huh.
like everybody keeps getting hurt, and it pisses me off. It's like every
Yeah.
week one of the fantasy starters I had would get hurt, and then I would have to pick up some random goober off the street to fill in that gap.
Yeah, Franklin Josephson
Yeah,
of
dude.
frickin' Saskawami, Wyoming, in the middle of nowhere.
It,
He he played like 2 years of high school ball, and works in a factory. That's who you're putting on your team.
if you saw the week to week lineup for my team, it changes like so drastically by the end. Uh, and I didn't know Dak Prescott was gonna be good. I drafted him as my second quarterback, and somehow he became a top three option.
Holy shit!
I also had Russell Wilson, and then I had Derek Carr for like a week, and then I traded Derek Carr away for a receiver. I don't remember. So there's how that worked out. Uh, I got Michael Pittman on a discount. Michael Pittman's like a top five option.
How about his brother Arm?
Arm Pittman. Yeah, I get ya. I get ya. That's a good one. But Michael Pittman, man, that guy is the future for receivers until literally anybody else gets better.
Is
So
he good? I genuinely don't know.
Michael Pittman is on the Colts, and I believe it's been 3 out of the last 4 years he gets 1,000 yards catching, receiving, whatever you want to say,
Hmm.
which is really good for a receiver.
Damn. Damn.
And then it's kind of like Amari Cooper on the Browns, which was actually a good trade. Uh, the Browns traded a fifth to the Cowboys for Amari Cooper, which is a ridiculous underthrow, by the way. That is impractical how they got that guy. But they did it. Um, yeah, Amari is like 1,000 yards a year type guy, too. Pretty good to look at there.
Yeah,
Um,
when I think of the NFL trading all these guys like between different teams, it reminds me of like how Mormons kind of inbreed,
hmm.
but like in Utah, just passing each other around to like different families and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Being like, yeah, well, you two can get married now, and you might be fourth cousins, but hey, it's all good, I guess.
I just know There is a generic named quarterback, Josh Johnson. That is his name. And he's been on like 20 of the 32 teams already.
Holy shit.
He's only
Mr.
been in the
Worldwide.
league for like 8 years, and he's already done. He's already done
Holy
that. It's
fuck.
ridiculous. He's
Dude,
been
at that
on.
point, if I were him, I would be trying to hit all of the teams, every single one.
Can you imagine that guy just goes on like a week to week trade block? Oh yeah, we'll trade you Josh Johnson for a seventh. How does that sound?
Yeah, everybody wants some Josh.
And he went to the Canadian Football League, he went to the XFL, he went to the USFL. He's been on every minor league too, which is ridiculous. I believe it said he had like 30 teams total.
Holy fuck, dude.
Man. Those guys,
Is he behind the like Josh wine?
I don't think so.
Have you seen that? The
No.
wine that's just called Josh.
I just know that guy. That guy is the luckiest man on earth because he just gets to travel wherever he wants, really.
Right,
Like,
and on the NFL's dime.
yeah, like all of those tiny little contracts add up over time. So he's made like $20 million and he just travels around.
He probably has a really fire financial advisor. Like, that might be why he gets traded so much, because he's like, well, it'll help me in the long run financially, so I might as well go to the, and he spins a wheel, like a big, like Wheel of Fortune wheel, and he's like, the Kansas City Chiefs, or,
Yeah,
fucking team comes up.
it'd be
That's,
really funny if he just has a dartboard with every team on it.
yeah.
I don't know. Josh Johnson is a definition of a journeyman quarterback, which doesn't happen that often, but it's when a player goes to more than 4 teams in their career. They get called
Journeyman, that
journeyman.
guy's a fucking adventure man at that point.
That guy's a
With as
mountain
many teams as
climber.
he's been on. Yeah, that guy's been to fucking football Everest, dude.
I don't really know many running backs or receivers who are journeymen. I guess Frank Gore counts because Frank Gore was on like 8 teams and he was a running back.
Does like if you want to be the guy that's like a first round pick, does being a journeyman look good or bad?
Well, usually journeymen are guys that are already drafted and then they sign to a bunch of places. Uh, when it comes to drafting, you can't really tell if somebody is a journeyman or not. It just really depends on where they go and what they do. Um,
Interesting.
Usually, receivers and running backs are only on like 4 teams at most in their whole career. But some that have worse luck than others end up on like 6 or 7 by the end of their career.
And you got fucking Josh Johnson.
Yeah, dude, Josh Johnson. I might be saying that name wrong. It might be John Josh Joshman. I don't know.
John Josh.
He has the most generic name. It could be any of these. Um, I don't know. Besides him, there's Ryan Fitzpatrick. That guy was around on like 12 teams. There was also a guy named Josh McCown, and he was on like 10. So it happens.
Holy
It's
shit.
just not normal to happen.
They're really passing them Irish boys around pretty crazy.
Yeah, poor Ryan Fitzpatrick. He just wanted to be a leprechaun for Christmas.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick, his day's coming up, dude. St. Patrick's Day.
Close, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. When even is St. Patrick's Day? I think it's the 17th.
I think it's
I don't even
always the
know.
17th. Yeah.
Yeah, I never paid attention.
It's a good thing I have a calendar over here. For some reason, there's a holiday every Sunday this month.
Holy shit, you're right. You're completely right.
That is weird. That's the first time I've noticed that. I
Um,
literally just turned my head and it says like every holiday's on a Sunday. Because
St. Patrick's Day being on a Sunday sucks. That's so gay.
there's a third quarter moon day, and then the 10th is daylight saving time, and then the
Nice.
17th is St. Patrick's Day, and then the 24th is Palm Sunday, and then the 31st is Easter.
What the fuck is Palm Sunday, dude?
I don't know. Maybe it's a
This is the
other
f-
religion
that's the first
holiday.
I have. Yeah, that would have to be what it is.
There's
Because
also
I
Good
that's this is the
Friday
first I've
on the
ever heard of it.
29th. So we will have a
Yeah,
Good Friday pod.
yeah. I actually have work off that day, so we could theoretically record.
Oh yeah,
We could just spend the whole entirety of Good Friday recording
can you
podcasts.
imagine we have like 5 on batch and then we take like a month off? That'd be so
We
goofy.
could do that. I mean, we like realistically we probably could like record a few that day
Yeah,
and then just have them on the back burner if they're not trash.
I I just know, man, I'm going back to sports already. The Cavaliers are second in the East, but they keep losing by small margins. It's really cringe.
Have they lost to LeBron yet?
They have not, I don't think, which is
Thank God.
surprising. Uh,
LeBron James.
they are like tied for second with the Bucks, not the Buccaneers, the Bucks, and
The Bucks.
that is Giannis Antetokounmpo's team. I believe I said his name right. It is
What
very
kind of name
long
is
in
that?
Greek. It is a Greek last name, so I might have gotten it
Bayanis
wrong.
Katata Poo Poo Takaka Poo Poo.
Giannis Antetokounmpo. I believe I'm saying it
Akaka
right.
Poo Poo.
But but yeah, I'm happy for the Cavaliers. They deserve a winning season. They have enough pieces where I think they can make it to the third round, which is the conference finals, I think.
Well, it's March Madness this month too, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's college basketball March Madness.
Yeah, I
I
put
don't
hell
know
money on that.
anybody on there except for Caitlin
Neither
Clark
do
on
I.
Iowa.
I
Uh,
remember in I think it might have been second grade or something, we did a March Madness thing, and I didn't know much about basketball at all, so I just was like, here's the teams I think are going to win are the Cavaliers because they're in Cleveland, and I guess the Chicago Bulls because that sounds cool. I don't think I won.
well,
Well, I definitely didn't because it was college ball.
yeah. I just think it's funny that like a decade ago, I was such a Ohio State fan that we were doing March Madness predictions, and I just said Ohio State would go all the way. They lost in the second round.
Ain't that a bitch? Oh,
I,
I know what we
it's
can
really
talk. What
funny.
else we can talk about too? Oh fuck. We can talk about Rooster Teeth.
Yeah, I got a little spiel to say on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Uh, the thing that disappoints me the most about that company is that when you looked at the main channel, the Rooster Teeth YouTube channel, back in like 2011, 2012, it had gaming, it had those weird skits, RT Life, it had Red versus Blue, it had Ruby, and it had the podcast. For some reason, over time, they took all of that out. And that's why
Yeah,
the
they
main
gutted it.
channel died, is because they spread it out too thin. And it hurt the company. It's kind of like, man, if WWE spread out to make like 7 shows a week, totally different rosters and everything. It would lose interest because you're getting it too much over time, right?
Yeah, and
It's
there's
the
also
same
too
thing with
many.
Rooster Teeth.
Yeah, there's too many like side plots and stuff to keep along or to keep up with.
Yeah, because Rooster Teeth had Achievement Hunter Spur Off, and then they made the Let's Play channel, and then they had Funhouse, and then they had all the Let's Play family channels, which were like Cow Chop, Sugar Pine 7, Screw Attack, Game Attack.
Really, they
Uh,
bought up Screw Attack?
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Uh, what else? They had something else. Inside Gaming, technically. Cow Chop. The Creatures. Like, they had all that. And then they killed everything in that besides Funhouse, Let's Play, Achievement Hunter, and Inside Gaming, and Screw Attack got changed to Death Battle. And
Yeah, really? They just
and
rebranded Screw Attack as Death Battle? I didn't know
and
that.
that's fucking crazy that they would do that. They spread themselves so thin in the Let's Play family that they killed off like 7 of the channels or some shit.
Yeah.
Also, Kinda Funny was there, and then they sold it off on its own. It's an independent work. Same thing with Game Attack. It's a whole separate work now. And then they have like 70 podcasts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they have there's one called Red Web, there's one called Fuckface, there's one called Face Jam, there's one called Anma, there's one called RT Podcast on its own, and there used to be Off Topic on the Achievement Hunter channel. And then they're just going to sell all those podcasts separately when this company dies,
Damn.
which is crazy
Well,
to
it
me.
already did.
Well, it has 2 months to live. They have a 2 month window where they're gonna try to make stuff, but it's gonna be really hard because they can't generate that much money out of it to support all the people who still want to make stuff under the brands. So I
Right.
have no clue how that's gonna work. Also, Red versus Blue got its own channel, and then Ruby joined it, and then the Camp Camp Show and Genlock were in there, and then that channel got really crowded and boring. Um, and they're gonna sell all that off on its own too, by the way. Uh,
Damn.
and then the live action stuff, RT Life became its own channel and had a podcast and another podcast. And Funhouse had a podcast. And that's all going to be a part of the podcast network thing. Uh,
Yeah. And our podcast is better than all those podcasts too.
yeah,
Just saying.
I believe that at this point because we're still running, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, we are still running and they're not.
Apologies for undercutting, but that's where we're at now. Um, yeah. It's just a mess because when you look at Rooster Teeth in 2012, they were a top 5 channel. Literally top 5 on YouTube.
Yeah.
Then they took all of their creative talent into other channels and spread themselves too thin, and that's why they lost interest. That's crazy to me. Also because
Yeah.
Red versus Blue should have ended about 7 years ago. No joke. Ruby should have ended about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And they just kept making them for some reason. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
They really kind of kept I think they kept Rooster Teeth on life support for like as long as they possibly could
Yeah.
until it just became unsustainable. Well, wasn't it Warner Bros. Decision to
Yeah,
like sell all that stuff. Yeah. So I mean,
because they got bought by Fullscreen, which used to be Machinima, and then Machinima got bought by a company, and then that company got bought by another company, and then that company got bought by Warner. And then Warner
damn.
was like, hey, we're bleeding money on all these extra projects. So they killed off Batgirl movie. Then they killed Acme versus Coyote movie to save money.
What the fuck?
And then they killed Rooster Teeth to save money. Which is baffling, to say the least. That they would go through all those strenuous acts to get money.
Yeah, I mean, they probably, I don't know, they might have, and this is all speculation, obviously, but they might have just had a pretty shitty auditor doing their audits, and then they finally had a guy in that's like, what the fuck is all this shit, and why isn't it making us money? And they're the guy in charge of, whoever that guy's going to bitch about it was probably like,
A bunch
that's a
of
good
people in
question.
Texas are making people laugh on the internet,
Yeah.
and that guy was probably like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, yo, what the fuck?
And then he was like, "Get rid of that shit right now."
What the fuck is Funhouse?
What the
What is
fuck?
this?
What the
And the
fuck?
guy's like, dude, I don't know. I got this job fucking this year. I'm playing catch up too. Well, fix it right now.
What the fuck? What the fuck is a Let's Play family? What the fuck even is that strategy?
Let's play. Here, I have a let's play for you. Let's play clean up your fucking act.
I just know they made like 100 channels for all the shit they were doing. So they were spread out so
Yeah.
thin on every account of being spread thin. And they didn't expect it to fail, which is insane to me.
Yeah. Well, I
Can
mean,
you
that's like
imagine
in like
Smosh having
warfare.
like 100 channels?
Yeah, well, it's like warfare where like if you have a set amount of guys and you spread them out on a line like of an area that is contested in a war, if you spread these guys out too thin, the lines are going to fucking fail,
Yeah,
you know? So the main plan is if you have a limited amount of guys, it's like cut whatever losses are not necessary and consolidate your forces and stuff that matters more than like these other auxiliary positions. And it's like essentially the same thing that Rooster Teeth did. That's how they failed. They just spread the line way too thin and it broke.
yeah. And
And
I
also
know there was so
I've
many
said it.
talented animators on there, and it sucks that they all had to
Oh
lose
yeah.
their jobs.
I think those guys are definitely going to get work elsewhere. I mean, when it came to like animation for Rooster Teeth, I stopped watching after a certain. I think it might have been volume 5 or 6 of Ruby, but I mean the animation for like Rooster Teeth was actually like pretty fucking good for like not a I don't even know how you say it, but like a 5 star I guess animation company.
Yeah,
Like it was pretty close to being that on its own. And I think maybe if they had stuck with that kind of stuff, but like had writers that actually knew what the fuck they were doing, who knows? Maybe they'd still be around. But at the same time, I don't know. Because if they did go with animation, they could theoretically sell that off if it's good to like streaming services, and they could have gotten pretty good revenue through that. Um,
it's
But
a
then again, I'm just playing armchair, uh, I guess armchair business. Armchair Shark Tank. That's what I'm
yeah,
doing
yeah.
right there. I'm trying to fix their fucking company.
It's just it's one of those examples of don't start a business based on friendship. Uh, which is what I
Yeah,
learned first with the creatures when they shut down. which is apparently 6 years ago this year, which is insane to me.
I
Um,
forgot about the creatures.
but yeah, that was the first time I learned the don't make a business around friends idea, um, which is sad. And then Rooster Teeth dying out is kind of a second-hand situation of the same thing, where you can't just say, "Oh yeah, this place is family of friends, and we love each other so much, and we don't want to see anything bad happen to the company, brand, whatever." You can't do
Yeah,
that.
well, when
You got to
yeah, when because
separate
when
it.
yeah, when if it's a business and shit goes bad and somebody gets burned, then I feel like the backlash is going to be a lot worse because you're building it off of, you're building your brand off of this like wholesome, you know, like you said, like friendship type stuff. It does not work out long term. Like if you're gonna be doing like shit like that, like obviously surround yourself with people you like, but like don't be such close friends to where like if shit goes wrong in the business, I mean I'm just parroting shit at this point, but if shit goes wrong in the business, like obviously there's going to be fucking bad blood because it's like, oh, I thought we were friends and you fucking fired me. And it's like, yeah, dude, you're doing fucking cocaine in the bathroom before every recording. Like, yeah, we fired you.
No duh. No duh. It's kind of like when Zuckerberg sold off Facebook or whatever, or sold his friend's shares, you know?
Yeah.
It's the same kind of thing where he just kind of learned, oh yeah, I can't make a business off of friendship. So he cut the ties and became a lizard person the entire movie.
Yeah. He killed himself and they replaced him with a lizard person.
Yeah, that guy's weird looking, anyways.
I bet they didn't add that in the social network movie.
I can't
That
wait
scene.
for them to make a second social network.
Social network 2.
Yeah, and it's just called the post, whatever, the post ownership era or something dumb.
Maybe then they'll have the scene of them assassinating Mark Zuckerberg and replacing him with a lizard.
That'd be really
That'd be
funny
pretty
if it was a
crazy.
comedy movie instead of a serious drama movie.
Yeah, dude, they replace him with like a literal bearded dragon or something like that.
That'd be the best movie ever. He
Mark,
talks
we
like
have this.
he talks like Ringo.
Yeah, like I was better yet. It's just a lizard. He doesn't have any.
He just sits
They're
in a
just like
chair.
Mark. I have this great idea about this thing called the metaverse, and then the camera pans to Mark, and it's just a bearded dragon. It's just looking at the guy, blinking at him.
And its
And
tongue sticks out for like 2 seconds.
he's like, "What? You're giving me fucking $50 million to develop the metaverse? This is awesome." The lizard has said and done nothing.
That'd be a great movie, man.
How about a fart fuckerberg and he's making a website for people who like farting fart porn. How about that?
I would love a Mark Zuckerberg movie, but it's written by him too, so he can be as self-important as possible.
All the dialogues like, "I want to start a social media company." The other guy's like, "Oh, that is a good idea.
Just remember to
But
buy me out later.
just please remember to not buy me out later." And then
Wink.
it goes back to Mark, and he's like, "Okay, I will not do that." And
Wink.
it's just the whole movie's written super robotically, the whole script, because Mark Zuckerberg wrote it.
Isn't Brenda's song in that movie?
I don't know. I've actually never watched it. I just know like a couple baseline facts about the social network.
I find it funny that the social network is gonna be 15 years old this year, and
Damn,
Jesse
really?
Eisenberg is still the only person to ever portray that guy.
Jesse Eisenberg.
Yo, why
Eisenberg
why
sounds
does he
like,
sound like a foreign villain? That's real.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He sounds like some kind of like Nazi bad guy in a movie.
I don't know. Maybe he's related to Heisenberg. We found a connection.
Maybe. Well, no, he wouldn't be a Nazi in a movie. Is like Heisenberg. He'd be in the camps.
True.
But maybe he's like one of the really mean. Maybe he's a bully in the concentration camp. He's a really mean Jewish guy to all the other Jewish prisoners,
You know, I've never seen
and that's
Michael
his villain
Cera
arc.
and Jesse Eisenberg in the same room.
Yeah, that's because they're the same person.
Yeah, that's what
It's
I
like an
think
economics thing.
sometimes. Like, why are they
Yeah,
never together?
I just want to know what the guy's real name is, whether it's Jesse Eisenberg or
Michael Cera.
yeah, or Michael Cera. That's so stupid. I forgot that.
It's kind of
No, I
like
just want to know
how
what his real fucking name is.
it's kind of like how Ryan Gosling looks like seven other actors at all times. Uh,
Yeah, somebody said
Mostly
Ryan
Jake
Gosling has
Gyllenhaal.
Mormon face.
He looks like Jake Gyllenhaal a lot.
Yeah, dude, I confuse them all the fucking time. When I went to see the Barbie movie in theaters with Tyler, I kept mistakenly referring to Ryan Gosling as Jake Gyllenhaal, and he kept correcting me.
That's not Jake. Stop it. Stop calling him
At one point, I was like, "Yeah,
Gyllenhaal.
same difference," because they're both in like they both play like literally me characters. You know what I'm saying when I
Yeah,
say that?
yeah.
Yeah, they both play fucking literally me characters, and they're both like the same height,
I I
probably.
I think it's funny that they're both in like the best shape of their life too right now. So it's even harder to decipher who's who.
Yeah, and everybody loves those fucking guys now. That's like, I don't know. There's this, I see ads for this thing called Commando Store on Instagram, and they sell military surplus stuff,
Yeah.
but they also sell like morale patches and like wall hangings. And one of the wall hangings is like, Gosling as like the Pope. And I'm like, dude, that's so fucking gay. If I walked into somebody's bedroom and they had the Ryan Gosling Pope poster hanging up, I'd fucking leave.
uh,
I'd say fuck this.
Something that I just now remembered. I have never watched. Crap. It's that futuristic movie. 2049.
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner. Yeah, I've never watched that movie, the 2049 one.
I
But
saw the one
I
with
think it's
Harrison Ford
cool
in
as
it, and it
hell.
was fucking awesome.
I don't know. Maybe it's on Max or something. I'll have to pull it up.
Yeah. Yeah, there's one where Harrison Ford's the main guy, and then there's Gosling's the main guy. And obviously the Gosling one's newer, but I've only ever seen the Harrison Ford one, and it was fucking awesome, dude. Definitely recommend it.
What's gonna be funny is if the Downer episode is the longest episode of the show. That'd
Yeah,
be
we
so
sit here and do
goofy.
3 hours worth of podcasting.
Well, we're at like 55 ish, I think. I can't count it right now. But,
Yeah, something like that.
man. Well, man, what else is there to talk about? Oh, there's another Tron, Tron movie, uh, with Jared Leto as the lead actor.
That's insane. It's insane how he keeps getting work.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
Doesn't he have like a sex cult or something like that of like barely legal girls?
I, I think you might be mixing him with Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm not sure though.
No, 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 no. I'm definitely thinking of Jared Leto. Jared Leto, he's the lead singer for like 30 Seconds to Mars also, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's him. See, let's just Google it. Fuck it. Jared Leto sex cult. Let's see what we get. Yeah.
Huh.
Here's a Reddit post. What's up with Jared Leto's cult and criminal behavior? The Cult of Jared Leto by La Officielle USA. Get that French shit out of my
Yeah,
country.
why is he a French USA newspaper article writer? I'm confused.
Yeah.
How
Why are
strange.
people? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff about this guy fucking around with cult activity.
I just know he's Morbius and Joker and apparently in Tron, and that's weird to me that he's in so many things. And then Joaquin Phoenix was Napoleon recently. I still have not watched that movie, but I've heard it's pretty decent. And he is also working on another Joker in October, I think, of this year. I may be wrong on that.
I just looked up just for fun. Is Jared Leto gay? And I've not gotten a straight response on this at all. Everybody,
There's just a
I'm
question mark.
yeah, like distinctly remember Jared Leto being gay, and now apparently he swings both ways. Is Jared Leto gay? Is Jared Leto gay or just acting? Here's everything we know. Is Jared Leto gay? Gaiety investigates. Definitely not clicking on that website. Um,
I keep forgetting that
dude, Jared Leto, bio, age, height, net worth, girlfriend. Is he gay?
I like how it has girlfriend before is he gay.
I know.
It kind of reminds me of Does Bruno Mars is gay? A Game Grumps classic.
Holy shit, dude.
There's also what was it? It was something with wolves. What was the wolves bit they do? It,
I don't even remember.
it was like I don't I don't remember actually. It's hard to say.
The last time I've watched anything Game Grumps related was maybe 2 months ago. I was thinking about the sad Hoshi bit that they did, and I was like, man, I gotta fucking watch that again. And it was still pretty funny.
I feel like Game Grumps have kind of just dialed it in. You know, they don't really express as much as they used to. They just kind of make
No, they're not as
blanket
funny, in
statement
my
jokes.
opinion. Yeah, definitely. I do not think they're as funny as they used to be.
I'm glad they have 10-minute Power Hour because that's a good show. Um,
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about 10 Minute Power Hour. Uh,
a
I still
giant
think
plane
they've
is coming
kind of
through,
fallen off.
so if the audio is picking that up, I apologize.
Is it a like C-150 cargo plane or whatever it's called?
I think so. It's like shaking my house.
Holy fuck, dude. Maybe it's the Blue Angels.
I live right next to an airport area, like down the road and across the town a little. But yeah, usually we don't get the shaky planes anymore, so that was surprising.
Yeah. I remember one time I was in Nashville playing shows and the Blue Angels were there. They were flying around. It was really cool.
Yeah.
I got to see them practice. Unironically, though, that was like super fucking sick to just see like warplanes just fucking doing spins and like all sorts of shit. It was so badass. Well, anyway, guys, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for listening to the show. If you're watching, I don't know why we don't have any visual format here, but regardless, if you enjoyed the show, drop a like, maybe subscribe to Ronnie's channel, and yeah, have a good one, boys.